I definitely didn't expect this. Booting up Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time in over 10 years? I mean, would it hold up to today's standards? I'm curious, was it scary? What lore did it have? Well, I'm Mfuji, and today we are taking a look at Five Nights at Freddy's 1. The opening title was calm. You're met with this ethereal music and him. Freddy was watching you as you watched him. When you start the game up, the first bit of information that you are given is unsurprisingly crucial. Help wanted. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, looking for a security guard to watch the place from 12 to 6 a.m. and not responsible for injury or dismemberment. Injury or dismemberment? When you load in, you have to get used to your surroundings. On the left and right, there are door switches and light switches. At the top right, a timer. At the bottom left is how much power you are using and how much power you have left. At the very bottom is your camera panel. In terms of design, this is just incredibly simple, but super effective at controlling a player's experience of this game. A phone rings and you are met with the phone guy, who provides you with guidance through his pre-recorded phone calls at the start of every shift.
Hello? Hello?
You'll grow to find this voice comforting or extremely annoying. I used this time as a saving grace to learn how to play and get used to checking the cameras and different rooms. And of course, this is where you'll meet the cast. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and the mysterious fox behind the curtains of Pirate Cove. The phone guy pretty much just keeps talking, and by the time he's done, it's like 2 a.m. and all my cameras went black. That's when Bonnie was on the move. This was when the game really started to put me on edge. It wasn't running animatronics or immediate cheap jump scares. It was a slow burn. Just Bonnie looking at me through the camera. At 4 a.m. I tried to lock myself in the office. With 30% left, I didn't think I would make it. Then without warning, Chica was on the move. And with no power left, carnival music started to play, and glowing eyes peered at me from the left door. Now Freddy watched as...
Yo, I was literally this close to death.
6 a.m. rolled around. We had timed it just well enough where we were able to survive even though we were literally seconds away from death. In a normal situation, we would run out of power and I guess Freddy would pay us a little visit, but because the shift clock still runs during this time, you're able to dodge death. And this is the first time that we did that, letting us move on to night 2. But before we do that, I just wanted to take this time to give a shout out to the channel members. I'll list them right here so that way you can see them. They're helping support my dream of becoming a YouTuber and a streamer and hopefully getting rid of that full-time job. If you would like early access, voting on what games we stream next, or any of these sick emotes, consider becoming a member. But if you're not interested, the subscribe button is free and it's right down below. Thank you. Before the phone guy even finished his script, Chica was already on the go. And this night was pretty difficult for me. By 3 a.m. I was at 47% and pulling up the monitors looking for where Chica was. And I completely neglected Bonnie, who attacked me. Giving me what I felt was a genuine heart attack. My second playthrough of the night, I wanted to try to not do anything to see how I would lose, and by 2 a.m., Foxy had burst through the door. My third attempt, I still didn't quite get it, apparently. There's audio cues and gameplay that I just wasn't picking up, but we did get closer. Now I understand that if I use the light to see if a character was in the door, I would be able to close it at that point and that would protect me. Then continue using the light to see if that character was still there. By opening the door once it had gone, I was able to kind of reserve power. I kept only checking the cameras at this point to make sure Foxy wouldn't run after me, and by 4 a.m. I was down to 14% power, but that wouldn't matter because Bonnie got me again. On to attempt 4. We actually managed to win, but it was not easy. I pretty much balanced left light, right light, camera, then light again, and this would be a complete rotation. And finally, we were able to move on to night 3.
Come on, it's been 5 a.m. for so long. One more hour, baby. New record. New record. Thanks to you. Holy crap.
Something I like about this game is that it's pretty easy on night 1, but you completely have to figure out all of this by yourself. It's not until you make it to night 2 that you get some hints towards actual gameplay. On to night 3. Out of the gates, Chica was once again on the move. I found that sometimes I couldn't keep up with how fast the animatronics were moving. Then at 1 a.m, Chica was already at the door.
We good.
I managed to lock her out, but the night was going, and I was already down to 54% by 3 a.m, and I kept hearing things. At this point, I was genuinely fueled by like pure adrenaline. I'm clicking through the cameras at 5 a.m, and I'm at 6%, and Foxy was coming out. I hit 0%, and once again, I managed to stick it to 6 a.m. Oh, dude. I don't know how we were landing this kind of luck, but I was in awe that we made it to night 4 at all. So on night 4, I started to genuinely believe I would never beat this game. I mean, I looked at the cameras twice, and Chica was already hunting me down. Foxy was even out at 1 a.m, checking the cameras repeatedly, by the way. 3 a.m. and I was already down to 50%. Bonnie was after me. Chica was there. I was then being procedurally hunted down by Foxy, but he took this huge percentage of power usage, knocking me down to 0%.
Oh Lord, what did we do?
This time, I got this.
No! Hold on. Sometimes I might get lucky. I might get lucky. Please! Please don't do this to me! That's what I'm talking about, boys! That's what I'm talking about!
It turned 6 a.m. and we were on to the final night. I started night 5 with sheer confidence that I could do this. I was able to steer off Bonnie. I checked the cameras and I made it to 1 a.m. Bang, Bonnie again. I kept going. Chica at 2 a.m. How could I survive this? Chica literally camped for an entire hour at the right door. And that drained so much of my power that by 4 a.m. I was down to 28%. I couldn't believe it. I made it to 4 a.m. on my first attempt at night 5, and by the time 5 a.m. rolled around, I was only at 5%. So I wasn't gonna make this. The carnival music rang out, and I got jumped by Freddy.
I think we lost it. Sorry, guys.
On attempt 2, my power management was even worse, because by 3 a.m., I was down to 48%. I had to be careful and try a new strat that didn't rely on me checking the cameras constantly. The issue is, I kept having animatronics standing at my door for large amounts of time, draining the battery faster. 5 a.m. again, I was at 0% and got the carnival music again.
Sucks. Yes!
But just like before, I was saved by the 6 a.m. alarm, giving us the good job score.
$120 for my life? Let's go!
I had done it. I had survived. Y'all know a lot more than I do. Throw it in the comments down below. I'd love to be a part of the discussion and learn more, because I'm really impressed by at least this first game, and I can't wait to talk about all the other games that we played on stream. I've been your host, mfuji, and for more video game, nerdy, and travel related stuff, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.